The Tenerife Airport Disaster, March 27, 1977. Two Boeing 747s collided on a foggy runway. It remains the deadliest aviation accident in history. 583 people lost their lives. The disaster sent shockwaves through the world. It forced the aviation industry to confront its vulnerabilities, and it led to significant safety improvements. This is the story of that tragic day and the lessons learned from the ashes. The disaster occurred at Los Rodeos Airport. It was a small airport in the Canary Islands. It was ill-equipped to handle the large jets that were diverted there that day. A bomb threat at Gran Canaria Airport had forced the diversions. Among the diverted flights were KLM Flight 4805 and Pan Am Flight 1736. Both were Boeing 747s, the largest passenger aircraft at the time. The diverted flights crowded the airport. The runway was filled with taxiing aircraft. The situation was already tense. Then a dense fog rolled in. Visibility dropped to a few hundred feet. Pilots and air traffic controllers had to rely heavily on radio communication. The stage was set for disaster. The KLM 747 was preparing for takeoff. It was at the end of the runway. The Pan Am 747 was back-taxiing on the same runway. It was trying to get to a turn-off point. The fog made it impossible for the two crews to see each other. The air traffic controller's instructions were unclear. The KLM crew thought they had clearance to take off. The Pan Am crew was still on the runway. The KLM captain, Jacob van Zanten, was experienced, but he was also known to be assertive. He was eager to get his passengers to their destination. The Pan Am captain, Victor Grubbs, was also a veteran pilot. He was known for his cautious approach. Both captains were facing immense pressure. The fog, the crowded runway, the delays, it was a recipe for disaster. The Tenerife Airport disaster was a tragedy of errors. A chain of events led to the fatal collision. Miscommunication was at the heart of it. The dense fog played a major role. It obscured the vision of both pilots and air traffic controllers. They had to rely on radio communication, but even that proved unreliable. Language barriers exacerbated the situation. The air traffic controller's Spanish accent was difficult for the Dutch KLM crew to understand. The controller used non-standard phraseology. This added to the confusion. The KLM crew misconstrued a message from the controller. They believed they had takeoff clearance. They did not. The KLM 747 began its takeoff roll. It was accelerating down the runway. The Pan Am 747 was still on the runway. The Pan Am crew heard the KLM's engines roaring. They realized a collision was imminent. The Pan Am captain desperately tried to steer his aircraft off the runway, but it was too late. The KLM 747 slammed into the side of the Pan Am 747. The impact was catastrophic. The top of the Pan Am 747 was sheared off. The KLM 747 exploded on impact. All 248 passengers and crew on the KLM flight were killed instantly. On the Pan Am flight, 335 people died. There were 61 survivors, all from the front section of the plane. Section 5, the aftermath and investigation. The Tenerife Airport disaster sent shockwaves around the world. It was a stark reminder of the risks of air travel and the importance of safety. Investigations began immediately. Spanish authorities and aviation experts wanted to understand what happened and why. The goal was to prevent such a tragedy from ever happening again. The investigations revealed a complex interplay of factors: miscommunication, human error, weather conditions. All contributed to the disaster. The KLM crew's misinterpretation of the air traffic controller's message was a key factor, but the controller's unclear instructions also played a role. The dense fog was a major contributing factor. It created a situation where even small errors could have catastrophic consequences. Section 6, Safety Improvements, the power of clear communication. The Tenerife Airport disaster led to significant changes in aviation safety. One of the most important was the standardization of communication. Pilots and air traffic controllers now use a standardized phraseology. This reduces the risk of misunderstandings, especially in high-stress situations. Clear communication is essential in aviation. It can be the difference between life and death. The Tenerife Airport disaster drove home this point. The aviation industry listened and it acted. The result is safer skies for everyone. Section 7, Crew Resource Management, Teamwork in the Cockpit. the Tenerife Airport disaster also highlighted the importance of teamwork in the cockpit. Crew resource management, or CRM, training became mandatory for pilots. CRM emphasizes communication, decision-making, and leadership skills. It empowers crew members to speak up, to share their concerns, and to challenge decisions if necessary. CRM training has been credited with preventing accidents. It has fostered a culture of collaboration in the cockpit. Pilots are no longer expected to be infallible. They are trained to work together, to support each other, and to make decisions as a team. Section 8. Technological advancements enhancing awareness. Technology has also played a role in improving aviation safety. Ground radar systems have become more sophisticated. They provide air traffic controllers with a clearer picture of aircraft on the ground. Runway lighting systems have also improved. They enhance visibility in low visibility conditions. These technological advancements have made a difference. They have reduced the risk of runway incursions and collisions. They have given pilots and air traffic controllers greater situational awareness, and they have helped to create a safer flying environment. Section 9. The enduring legacy, a catalyst for change. The Tenerife Airport disaster was a tragedy, but it was also a catalyst for change. The aviation industry learned from its mistakes. It implemented new safety measures. It made a commitment to continuous improvement. The legacy of the Tenerife Airport disaster lives on in the standardized phraseology used by pilots and air traffic controllers, in the CRM training that is now mandatory for pilots, in the technological advancements that have made flying safer, and in the unwavering commitment to safety that permeates the aviation industry. Section 10. Remembering the victims, honoring their memory. We remember the 583 people who lost their lives in the Tenerife Airport disaster. Their deaths were not in vain. They led to changes that have made air travel safer for everyone. We honor their memory by continuing to prioritize safety, by never forgetting the lessons learned from that tragic day, and by striving to make the skies a safer place for all.